What's up, Aries? Welcome to my channel, The Intuitive Teacup. So happy to have you all here with me today. Thank you for your patience. You are last but certainly not least for these mini tarot Pisces full moon videos. As most of you probably know, the full moon is a time where, ooh, Ace of Cups, love that. Full moon is a time where we focus on what we can release from our lives, the energy that is no longer serving us, what cycles can we close out, and then ultimately what do we need to embrace? What new cycles, what new beginnings do we have to look forward to? So that is going to be the theme of what I'm calling mini tarot readings, which have actually kind of spawned off into these very long, intricate reads. But what can I say? I like to give you guys the messages. So as with all these YouTube readings, they're general. Only take away messages that you feel are meant for you, that are for your best and highest good, that are going to serve you well in your future. Only you will know what that is. So yeah, please use your discretion, your discernment, and most of all, your intuition. What else do you need to know? I welcome you to come into this with an open heart and an open mind. If something doesn't seem to resonate, you don't need to take on that energy. You can release it. Everything else is going to be written in the description box below, including the decks I'm using as well as my social media channels. So check those out if you're interested. I'm the Intuitive Teacup on Facebook and Instagram. Let's hop in for my Aries friends. So what needs to be released? It's funny, making some sort of decision about indecision or about having too many options. So you have Justice being the underlying energy of the Seven of Cups. Trying to get to the truth of the matter, trying to get to the heart of the matter with maybe some sort of rocky or troubled relationship, something that's left you like perplexed. I'm getting very much duality with this. The idea of 1 minute it's hot, 1 minute it's cold, 1 minute we're ready to move in together, the next it's like we're fighting and screaming at each other. Very interesting. I don't know why I'm getting that just with Justice and Cups. Those are just the messages that are coming through with this. Might be dealing with a Libra. Might be dealing with a Scorpio. Doesn't have to be. Let's throw one more down on it. Let's see what we can get. Might be dealing with a Sagittarius. But temperance, tempering, balance, peace and harmony, fire and water blending together, Aries. You are a fire sign, so potentially you're dealing with someone who's a water sign or someone who is very fluid in their emotions, or I'm sorry, I didn't phrase that well. Somebody whose emotions surface quite frequently, and I almost said quite frankly, but I do understand that because, how do I say this in a polite way? They're messy with their emotions. They're not tempered. They're not controlled. It could be someone you're married to. There could be difficulties with communication. It could be an Aquarius, Taurus, Sagittarius. Doesn't have to be. You're trying to make a decision or judgment out of truth. What path do you want to go down? But it's really like emotionally. I think you're confused by your emotions. You're experiencing, again, a whole realm of things with, I do think, a person. It could be a job, or it could be a family member. For a lot of you, though, it does feel maybe like a romantic relationship. It's almost like the sex is great, but then when we have to do serious stuff together, that's when it gets very naggy. That's when people, with that King of Swords, it's like people bust out their weapons to fight, and it's almost like you fight with your intellect. You fight each other with your words, and the words are cutting. It's cold, it's bruising, it's wounding. Well, the Hierophant popped up again. So it might be a Taurus, it might be someone that you're committed to in terms of marriage or some sort of relationship, or someone you may be bound to with a contract. You may have signed, especially if it's work related, or I don't know, it's going to be a little different for everyone, but if there is some sort of commitment that you are bound by a contract or a document, or it's not just as easy as severing it, I think you're confused on how to proceed forward. But you need to stick to your guns. You need to keep your feet firmly planted in the ground. Something about this is talking about refraining from things that are going to distract you. I'm almost getting like substances, like drinking, drugs, addictions of any kind, codependencies, the devil energy, things that keep you bound, things that don't allow you to vibe high, to raise your vibe. It's going to be really important that if there is a decision that needs to be made, that you refrain from that behavior, at least during that time, because yeah, something could get wacky or screwed up if you are not coming into this with a very clear head. I think you're looking to balance the scales. Are you making a judgment on who you're committed to? That it's funny, that theme has come up in a lot of my readings, specifically during this Pisces full moon. Who is the Knight of Cups, right? The Knight of Cups in a lower vibration can be very messy with his emotions. He's the hopeless romantic. He romanticizes and fantasizes about his partners and almost builds them up to these impossible standards that can never be met. Also, the idea of spreading love in too many places. So maybe somebody hasn't been committed to one. And okay, that's really what this is leaning towards. Maybe somebody hasn't been committed to one. And again, there's confusion about which way to go, who to invest your time or your energy or your love with emotionally. But I think what needs to be released is the lack of commitment, the lack of a decision being made. It's time to come forward and like raise your vibe and finally commit to something or someone. Something about making a speech or a declaration, potentially to a group of people. So again, for some of you, this might be a work career spread, but it's time for you to take the lead. Because for those who are waiting for someone else to do it, I'm just getting it's not going to happen, Aries. You're going to need to step up and take the lead on this. I think a lot of you may have two potential suitors that you're considering between. One might be a Libra or one might be a Taurus. And it's almost like you're weighing out the ideas mentally and emotionally of who you see a long-term future with, who you could see yourself settling down with and potentially marriage, who you could see yourself passing on the key to your heart, but even the idea of moving in together, doing all like the rite of passage things with your romantic partner. Someone, you attract someone on a like sexual, like carnal level, but then there's someone else that I'm getting you may actually be more like intellectually compatible with. And so yeah, reasonably so, it's like you're looking for the perfect mix. You're looking for the perfect hybrid of both. And so yeah, maybe you are in a bit of a debacle. You don't know who to choose because you like the romance with one person, but the other person, you can have this witty banter back and forth all day, every day, and it's never exhausting. You're always right there with them. But maybe there isn't that same physical attraction. All right, the cards aren't coming out, so I think we should move on to what you need to embrace, and then we'll get to your guidance. So we'll see what's coming up here. What needs to be embraced from my Aries? There's that Ace of Cups that came up. New love, new beginnings, closing out cycles, which is what this whole thing is, and starting a brand spanking new beginning in love, potentially in spiritual commitment. So I do kind of take that to mean like, the holy institution of marriage, if you will. And marriage isn't for everybody. So if it's not specifically marriage, right, this could just be a clean slate, like a clean break, so that there's no baggage, particularly emotional baggage, from another relationship or maybe arguments from the past. This is like raising your vibe up so that there's enough love flowing out of your own cup, self-love. This is focusing on your self-love. The aces start with us, so that you are able to give it to the right person. The underlying energy for this is, okay, the messenger of water. So yeah, you do have some cups coming up. I do like to see that. So this is the page of water in this deck. This is somebody who's, I was saying, somebody is messy with their emotions. Maybe it's you, Aries, but maybe it's your partner. The messenger of water is a student of their emotions. They're still learning and understanding about their triggers, about what makes them feel good, but also what makes them feel bad. what gets a rise out of them, right? You know, there are certain people in your life, sometimes it's your parent or your sibling or your best friend, they know just what to say to needle you enough where it kind of pushes you off the ledge, where maybe you get a little defensive. Maybe you get a little bit of this, a little that, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They know just the right thing to say that makes you feel crappy, right? And I'm not at all promoting that, but I mean, that's kind of, you know, that's a thing. This person is still understanding their triggers, and it may even be they're understanding what they love. Yes, they love the physical attraction of potentially, you know, great sex, but is that more important to them than coming home to someone who they can actually have a conversation with? You know, there is, I don't know why this is coming up, but there is something very carnal about like jumping somebody's bones, but it's like, you know, the aftermath when you're sitting on the couch, it's just kind of like awkward and like, so do you want to like hang out or... And I'm just sort of getting that dynamic of what's more important to you? What is your foundation of love? Your idea of love, not only for yourself, but with a future partner. What does that look like? What's in your cup, right? This person needs to match your energy and your standards in some sort of way for this to be like a successful relationship. And I will say, because it's here, I know everybody hates hearing this, this might actually be saying solo. You might need to take a time out, sitting on the bleachers for an inning or for a round to really focus on the love you have for yourself. And also, it's something about the idea of what you're projecting outward and then what you're attracting. Do you have unreasonable standards, or is there some sort of subconscious thing that you were attracting like a magnet without even realizing it? Some of you are like, why am I constantly attracting partners that I am, you know, sexually compatible with, but when it comes to like, again, the conversation, the intellectual pairing or partnership, it just kind of flounders. It falls by the wayside. There may be a need to look into that, and maybe that's why this card is coming up, because it's saying look at your own path, look at your own spiritual journey, look at yourself, look at even like the traditional upbringing of you know, your parents. What was their marriage like? What relationships are you surrounded by? What are you seeing, right? It's almost like the idea of what you're exposed to on billboards and in media. What about the relationships in your life? What did you grow up learning and seeing about love that has informed you on how to love or what true love looks like? That's what I mean. There's something about you need to go back, and I'm not saying learn how to love. That's not what I'm saying. Though for some of you, maybe. It's really learning about what you want. And what's interesting is that, I don't know why I said interesting, weird emphasis on the syllable there. I'm actually not certain it's either of these people. If you're juggling two, again, like the intellectual versus like the sexual, romantic, whatever, these two people are almost, you hold the power is what I'm saying, Aries. I don't know if you realize that you do, but how I was saying, the decision rests with you. Some of you might decide that neither one is perfect, because here's the thing, if in reality one of these was your true soulmate, again, everybody's story is a little different. Part of me questions, wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you feel one more than the other? If this person was meant to be, if they're the person you want to commit to, spend the rest of your life with, I just feel like there would be greater intuition and more of an inkling that this is my person more so than that one. And so with that, by stepping away, by sitting on the bleachers for a couple innings, by experiencing your life without that person's love, this might also be saying absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's almost like by removing yourself from that person, from their energy, from their love, you might actually come to realize, oh my God, they're my person. I didn't realize it at the time. Maybe you were taking something for granted, or you were too overwhelmed by the options, the decisions, 7 of Cups. The illusion of what seemed to be a good fit but wasn't. I'm just getting with this, there will be great clarity, and water is all about intuition, right? You know, the Pisces full moon, water signs are extremely intuitive. Maybe some of you have very strong water in your chart. Maybe you should go hang out with some sort of spiritual leader, your church mentor, or someone who's just kind of more in tune with the universe to kind of get you back to the basics. Something about cups and water, it's very healing. It's very nurturing. It's like wiping the slate clean, wiping yourself clean of, I don't even want to say the sins. That's a weird way of putting it, but I think you understand what I'm saying. With this, don't give up hope. I am getting like absence makes the heart grow fonder, but there is a need for you to maybe focus on yourself during or around this Pisces full moon, because some idea may be illuminated to you when you go within. When you're allowed to channel messages, direct from spirit, from spirit to you, or, God, universe, whatever you believe in, little messages. Something about something appears right before you, and it's always been there, but you didn't see it. Almost Four of Cups energy. And again, messages from spirit, messages from universe, confirmations via symbols and signs and numerology and tarot readings maybe, right? I mean, maybe it's a water sign that you're going to choose. Maybe. So what is your advice or guidance, Aries? Two of Swords, peace. Making some sort of decision that leaves your mind, your brain at peace. I always say the waters are calm here. Something about this card is always, frequently depicted in this very meditative Zen yoga depiction, if you will. Again, yoga alone, by yourself, on the dock, around water. We just said all of that with this. I think you need to step out of the game just for a minute, just to maybe gain some clarity, to hit reset, right? To gain back your strength, to cleanse yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever that is for you. Your mental health is what's important here, because something with Seven of Cups, you might be driving yourself crazy. There's too many options. There's too many decisions. Maybe there's excessive drinking. Maybe there's excessive substance abuse. I was saying that earlier. There's something about purity, a cleansing of your body going on. I don't know if you're dieting or doing some sort of hippy dippy, a new eating routine. You're only eating seeds and carrots. I don't know. I'm joking. I'm making that up. But if you need to make an important decision, and clearly you do. You have the Justice card coming up. Libra, scales, balance, decision. And the Two of Swords, same exact thing. That decision, it's going to come from the internal, not the external. No one around you is going to inform you of the decision you need to make. It's going to come from your heart, from your intuition, listening to your emotions, learning about what it is that you truly love and desire and want. Maybe some of you have been in an abusive relationship, or something has taken a toll on you emotionally, and you need to heal from it. Maybe you still have baggage from an ex of the past, and it's to fully embrace your new partner, you need to again, hit reset, take a time out so you can get yourself back in check, so that you can go out there and love freely and openly, without condition. Four of Air. Yeah, a card of rest. Mental rest. You have two cards of mental rest. With the Four of Swords, it's metaphorically you've come through battle, right? You've come out of battle. The Three of Swords, the heartbreak, the sadness, the depression, whatever it is, the sorrow, the loss, the disappointment, right? You lie in the coffin that was meant for you, right, as a soldier returning from war, and you appreciate the fact that you aren't lying there without a breath in your body, that you have survived, that you have overcome, that you still have a beautiful life to live. It's taking that moment to appreciate what we have, and then making that decision to pick your sword back up and go out there and fight the fight again, right? That's exactly what this is. It's taking a seat on the bleachers for an inning or two, and then you're gonna pick the sword back up, you're gonna make the decision, you're gonna go out and fight the fight. But Spirit is recommending, is guiding, that you take some time out for yourself. Do you, Aries, right? There will be other opportunities to connect with people from the past or even in the future to welcome in new cups and new opportunity. But there is value in focusing on yourself at this time. Can we get a universe card to go along with the spread for my beautiful Aries friends? For Aries. What does Aries need to see and hear from the universe regarding this spread? You want to make a decision that is based in facts and logic and truth. And I'm getting that the only way to do that is to remove yourself from what feels very, dare I say, codependent. It's like these people have merged together. You can't even tell who's who. You need a breather. You need a break from this because it's clouding your judgment. It's getting the best of you emotionally. Interestingly enough, I said something similar to Sagittarius, and we did see that Temperance card come out earlier. Some of you may have Sag in your chart or be dealing with a Sag. I would recommend checking out that reading if this is at all resonating with you. Oh, you got 2. Through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. Come on. Meditation. That's exactly what we were saying here. Finding your inner peace so that you can go out and make better informed decisions. Because when you decide what you want, Aries, the universe knows what you want and they can give it right back to you. They can be your cheerleader. They can hand it right back. The universe mirrors what it is that you want to manifest. That's important here. Your second card, my energy creates my reality. What I focus on is what I will manifest. I wish I could write this. Did we just say that? We did. All right, cool. Aries, thank you so much for joining me. Please do like, share, subscribe. That helps me a tremendous amount. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time for more tarot videos. Happy Pisces full moon. Bye, guys.